Vice President JD Vance making a slightly unusual campaign stop yesterday to endorse a candidate won't be on the ballot in any American election.
Hungary is set to hold its election this Sunday, and on the ballot is Prime Minister Viktor Orbán's Fidesz party, hope I'm pronouncing that right, which has been in power for 16 years. Under Orbán's leadership, it has consolidated that power, and cracked down on dissent. But the party is facing dismal polling numbers ahead of the election, due in large part to economic conditions there. Enter Vance. The American Vice President landed in Budapest Tuesday morning and put his full weight behind Orbán and Fidesz and blamed the European Union for the country's economic problems.
I'm here because of the moral cooperation between our two countries, because what the United States and Hungary together represent under Viktor's leadership and under President Trump's leadership is the defense of Western civilization. What has happened in this country, what has happened in the midst of this election campaign is one of the worst examples of foreign election interference that I've ever seen or ever even read about. The bureaucrats in Brussels have tried to destroy the economy of Hungary. They've done it all because they hate this guy.
That wasn't all. Vance later attended a rally for Orban's party, and Vance brought a special guest in by phone. Take a listen.
Hello, Mr. President. How are you?
I love Hungary, and I love that Viktor. I'll tell you, he's a fantastic man. We've had a tremendous relationship. I'm a big fan of Viktor. I'm with him all the way. The United States is with him all the way. And it's a real honor to talk to you. You're really incredible people with great enthusiasm.
It's unclear what kind of an impact, if any, an endorsement from the American president, vice president, may have on Hungary's election. I guess we'll have to see.
We will have to see. Orbán, much to my relief, is behind by about 10 points in opinion polls. And I do think he's a very, very dangerous figure. Perhaps worth mentioning, the guy to whom he is behind is sort of centre-right. It's not that Orbán is going to be displaced by some democratic socialist. It's someone who's running, Peter Magyar, on a sort of anti-corruption kind of ticket. And there have been a lot of complaints about corruption in Orbán's Hungary. One of the factors driving that has been his erosion of democracy in Hungary. I mean, this is pretty well documented, how he has brought the judiciary under his control. He has packed various institutions with partisans who are loyal to him. He has basically nobbled or neutered the media. And so a lot of people in Europe have very, I think, well-founded and serious fears about him, because there is this notion of illiberal democracy, or a erosion, as I say, of democratic norms.
Well, he's a well-liked, admired figure, honestly, among the new right. The national conservative movement in America looks to him as someone they want to emulate. I think they like that he has fought wokeness or irreligiousness in public policy, has wanted to enshrine religion it has a place in the university and in the government. That's something national conservatives believe in. So they're one of their conferences has been conferences they've held in Hungary because of Orban. Obviously, he's not someone of my particular ideological bent. I also don't like the bureaucrats in Brussels. I'm not informed enough to say precisely what they're doing wrong with respect to Hungary. I'd be happy to believe they're doing something wrong with respect to Hungary, although it is a little odd to call that foreign election interference. But then you go to you America go to a campaign stop for him, but
Vice President of the U.S.
The president dials in, which again I think they have absolutely the right to do that, but probably bureaucrats in Brussels have the right to say they don't like the guy too. It's kind of a weird time. Like this was the most important. Again, America first. You may say we like Orban and we want his government to remain intact, but is this really America first for JD Vance, the vice president, in the middle of this conflict with Iran? We're going to send him to Europe to endorse the leader of a relatively small and trivial country, rather than be involved in the decision making here. I don't think that's frankly going to sit well with the America First Tucker MAGA people who like JD Vance and like Viktor Orban. But is that the best use of his time?
Well, I don't think it's the best use of his time, but I think it goes to the fear that people on the liberal side have in the United States, that it speaks to a desire from Trump and Vance and other people close to them to emulate Orban. And I take your point that Orban is admired on some parts of that.
I mean, they do. They want him to.
They want him to win.
Yes.
Now, from a liberal perspective, it is disconcerting at best that they are so closely allied to him, given his authoritarian leanings, to put it mildly. And those, I think, are one of the reasons why Hungary has been afflicted with all this corruption, because if you get in with Orban's circle, you're a made man or a made woman. And so those two things are related. Vance going there, I mean, I would be curious as to whether that actually helps or hurts. I don't even mean specifically relating to Vance, but the whole idea of outside interference, particularly when, like, Orban's party is running, you'll see them if you look them up online, these posters of Zelensky, where Orban is trying to create this kind of fear that Zelensky could, like, invade Hungary or something, or that there's some plot involving Ukraine, and I would presume the EU, because Orban hates the EU, hates the EU's leadership and bureaucrats so much. So that whole scent or odor of foreign interference is very much in the air there.
Well, I know Orban's always accused of being, like, in cahoots with Putin, although some of those claims to me seem a little overblown. I mean, they're not official. I mean, he doesn't want to get invaded he doesn't want his authority eroded by expanding Russian Federation either. So I think some of that is, knee-jerk, whatever.
And it's also those foreign elections. Let's say Orban does lose. I mean, obviously it will be displeasing to Vance and to Trump if that happens. How many Americans really care about that? I mean, I'm sure, some people will see it as a black eye to Trump or Vance if that happens. And it will be, but, like, it's not going to affect too many American voters one way or another. Maybe those national conservatives you talk about will be dismayed, but does it really damage the Trump project? Not too sure about that. Up next, Trump's Justice Department's Civil Rights Division is reportedly investigating January the 6th witness Cassidy Hutchinson. You may remember her from, of course, those high-profile hearings. We'll be right back with what that's about after this.